I thought I'd do a little update about why I'm not posting anything for a while now, and that's because I'm going through a spiritual awakening. Yay, fun times, or not. This spiritual awakening has been kicking my butt, but I am taking all the butt kicks and making them amazing. And it's a lot of stuff that has been coming up. The fears, the ego projections, the constructs that my ego has kept in place in order to help me to function in this three-dimensional world we live in on Earth. It's a lot of discomfort. It's a lot of sitting while my heart remembers, because the heart has neurons. The heart remembers the things that has happened, and it's releasing these things in the spiritual awakening. And so is my gut, and my gut is just telling me this is scary, that is scary, everything is scary. And I'm like, you know what, it's not here anymore. You're safe. You're absolutely safe. And it's okay to choose a different decision in your mind in order to solve that feeling of discomfort, so that you know that you can make a different choice if this happens again. It's a lot of sitting with discomfort, and even discomfort in sharing my story. Like, even taking this video is a little bit uncomfortable. And I know it's just because I have recalibrated to a new way of living, and my system has been reconfigured in order to accept higher sources of vibrations. And I am able to tune in much deeper into the ethers, such that better, clearer, more concise, more precise, and more controlled messages can come through. The best thing to do right now is a lot of shadow work. After integrating the higher vibrations, it's best to do some shadow work, so that we can transmute all the fears into something useful, so that we can make a different choice. Again, I touched on that previously, so that we can make a different choice, so that we can deal with the same situation in a different way if it ever happens again. And what helps? What helps? Feeling good helps. Feeling good to help you make a better choice, because when you're in a space of feeling good, you make better choices, you see. So any way of feeling good helps. Grounding, getting the electrons from the earth, that's grounding. That's essentially the mechanism of action of grounding. So putting your feet on the grass helps. Putting your body in a hot shower helps. Yoga helps. EFT tapping helps. EMDR helps. Anything to shift the feelings of discomfort and fear, and not knowing, the urgency to know. It's also a lot of letting go, I feel, because you can't control it. If you do, it's going to wear out the fear system, and then you go into fear hyperdrive, which is not good. So the answer is to let go and to surrender, so that you can ride the wave instead of letting it consume you in its totality. It's a good thing if you let it be a good thing, is what I'm feeling. Because we are meaning-making creatures, you see. We make meanings of what has happened to us, and if we give it a meaning that is desirable, that has favorable outcomes, it's going to help us feel better. It's going to help us make better decisions, better choices. And that is where I'm at the moment. It is happening as we speak. I might update in the future. And it has been a wild ride. It's It's interesting, as if anyone's ever experienced a spiritual awakening. It is certainly an interesting experience. It's definitely what you make of it. It's funny because whenever I read about spiritual awakening experiences online, it's like, oh, it's all happy, la la. And I'm like, It's interesting. That's a possibility that there's a lot of past life stuff coming up. I've been getting intuitive hits about my past life, like how things were a little bit challenging for me in my past life, where I had to deal with a lot of authority figures, figures that persecuted, the figures that made to seem what I was doing was wrong, if that makes sense. So I'm actually perpetuating that in this lifetime, and the fears are coming up so that I can actively transmute it into something that is more benign to me as well as to humanity as a whole. So I'm working through that. The whole entire light workers persecution imprint as well as the witch wound is what I'm getting, because it just feels like these two things are speaking of the same thing. It's pretty much being like accused of doing something bad when you're actually just doing your damn thing, you know? Like you're living your life. Like, what were witches doing? They were helping people. They were, you know, birthing children, that sort of thing. And people are like, no, you are not according to the religion. Therefore, you're not good. And therefore, it's a lot of almost spiritual warfare. But I don't see it as such, because it's not happening now if we are tuned into the right vibration in the 5D. And that is what I am working on as well, like living in the 5D instead of the 3D reality where fear rules, right? So in a 5D reality, love rules. Love turns things around. Love is the answer. Love is the solution. Love helps to make things better. And that is what I am transitioning through, ascending through as well, making sure that I'm keeping one foot firmly in a 3D and one foot firmly in a 5D, because it's important to be grounded, right? And what else? Yes, an important thing to note is that it needs all these techniques that I mentioned, the grounding, the shadow work, the dealing with discomfort. These has to be ways that work for you. I know it does sound a little bit obvious, but sometimes it's important to mention that, hey, everybody is unique and everybody needs to find their own way that works for them, right? And that's because life is like a game. It is like a game that you figure out because you're not given the playing manual. There's no life manual for any of us. We have guides, you know, like, you know, we do our science studies and we find out information, we deduce information, and then we get information in order to guide us along. But truth be told, we don't know what works for us until we find what works for us. And that is very important, and that is a fun part of the whole entire process of spiritual awakenings. And yeah, I just also wanted to touch on the thing about spiritual awakening. Like, a lot of people call it different names, right? Ascension, spiritual awakening, personal development, personal growth, and sometimes, if you pathologize it, even psychosis. It's interesting how we make meaning out of things, and we can really easily tell who's making those meanings from the 3D mentality or the 5D mentality. If you're pathologizing it, you're firmly in the 3D. We don't want to be there much. We have to be there because we are a 3D reality and we are grounded. But if we can reach into the 5D reality, we can create a better earth, a more harmonious earth where there's no like war. Like, what's the point of war, right? It's, if we all work together, wouldn't it be a lot better? If we all talk things out, wouldn't it be a lot easier and more harmonious and more progressive, right? Why are we like, you know, it's a lot of, I feel that in my spiritual awakening, I'm also transmuting the collective energies of just competition. I know I have a lot of past life issues with, competition and warfare and just pitting one person or one ideology against another. So I'm really transmuting that and really making different choices in my head so that I can make better, more progressive, more harmonious, more peaceful choices in the future. It's like, I feel that when we spiritually ascend, when we spiritually awaken, we don't just do it for ourselves. We are doing it for humanity, because we are part of humanity and we pick up on its vibes. And that's okay, you know, you do what you can. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own path. And if you keep grounded, all is going to be well. All is well. And that's the update so far. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to share your own spiritual awakening, spiritual experiences, please drop your comments down below. And I'll keep you guys updated the next time round. I'll see you soon.